Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Smashi Business Show. I'm Warid Ahmed.
I'm Abdul.
It's almost the end of the week, and that's why the topics they just keep getting better and better, don't they? And for our first topic for today, we're going to tell you guys about how this Jordanian American entrepreneur Amjad Masad went on to X to express how the rise of modern Muslim states will be one of the most epic comebacks in history.
Yeah.
Now, I think this is very true. And just to give you more context on who Amjad Masad is, he is the founder of Replit, one of the world's leading online programming platforms. And essentially what it is that you can, using Replit, you can make a program without using any coding. And what basically happened is that the gist of it is that he visited the FII summit in Riyadh, the 2024 summit, and after he came back from his visit, he discussed how everyone who's in tech, finance, and politics was there, and that Riyadh is such a safe, clean, thriving, and it's basically a modern multi-ethnic society while keeping Arab hospitality. Now, I think this point of him specifically mentioning that it's modern and it's multi-ethnic while still keeping Arabic hospitality, it's so important because you know what I see it as, Majid? He's basically telling us that Saudi Arabia has been able to evolve. It's been able to have technological advancements that are way ahead of the West while still staying true to its Arabic values.
Yeah. And the event that he's talking about itself, FII 8, is one of the biggest events now. It has evolved into one of the biggest economics event. The biggest one is in Davos, the World Economic Forum. It happens in Davos in the US. Everyone is there, the who's who and what's what of every company, big company. They are there in that event. But now, with the evolution of FII, Future Investment Initiative Forum, the conference, the summit, it recently concluded. Our CEO was there as well. It was in its 8th iteration, the 8th event of it. And it has grown so much. We saw the TikTok CEO. We saw Elon Musk speaking online from there. He didn't come personally, but he spoke at the conference. So it has turned into a big conference, and Saudi Arabia has become one of the biggest places where everyone is talking money now.
For real.
Saudi
You're right.
Vision 2030 is one of the main motivating or like the pushing factor behind it. That because of that, they want to build everything in Saudi. They want to diversify from oil and just get into every industry. And this conference is also a sign that Saudi Arabia does not want to like stay on its goals and just meet them and just, okay, we've done it, let's forget it. They want to build on them as much as possible.
No, we're definitely seeing that, Western countries, Western leaders, they're seeing that the capital pool in Saudi Arabia, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. In the FII summit, not only did Elon Musk appear, there was also the CEO of TikTok. Literally every possible entrepreneur that you can think of was at this summit. And what I found so beautiful, Majid, was people responded to Masad's post on X discussing how specifically Saudi Arabia, it's not just advancing, but it's becoming this hub that is opening this space for cultural conversations. I remember I saw this one comment where someone was discussing how when they were young, the Arabs in general, the Middle East was so villainized to them because they didn't have open tech access to that space. And that's something I found so interesting because I never considered it. I never considered how, because people weren't actually seeing the Arab world, they weren't getting that accessibility. Because the Arab world, it is very exclusive. If you take a look at Arab cultural in general, it's so exclusive. The perfumes, the recipes, like the Arab world, it's rooted in culture. And for the longest time ever, Western people were not able to access that. But now, after they're accessing it, it's nice to see that Saudi Arabia's technological advancement, not only is it making the Middle East lead the way in innovation, but it's also lifting this this villain curtain that for the longest time ever has covered the region. That's what I find so beautiful about it, because in my mind, I genuinely never considered that coding in itself, I'm not a coder. I don't like coding, I'll be honest. I never considered that coding in itself would actually lead to people being more aware of what's happening, because that's what the conference is really all about. It's all about investments, it's all about technology. But what do you think about that?
Mainly, what you said, there's a very nice thought that came to my mind. A lot of people know Edward Said, the Palestinian-American author. I remember reading Orientalism, one of his books. I didn't read it out of curiosity. I read it as a course material during my bachelor's. And I remember that the conversation that you were having right now, it's more about them, they, and us. So West always thought that, us, we are different, and they are the they and them. They always alienated the Arab world that, they're something completely different, they're barbaric, they're this, they're that. And all of that was put into movies, and all those ideas came to them through media, the legacy media. I love this term, legacy media. So the big newspapers, the movies of old times, like 20 years or like 2 decades or 3 decades back, you pick up the movies, you look at how Arab world and the Arab people are portrayed in it. They're always like, camping in the desert, don't have the money, relying on their sheep and camel milk. So all this stuff was created around the Arab identity. Now it has changed. Now the world, through social media, again, thanks to social media, a lot of evils there in social media, but social media, because of that, people see that they're, at the end of the day, people. Arab world comprises of people, humans who love to eat, who love to dance, who do everything, but in their own cultural circle, I must say, or in their cultural boundary. Everyone has a cultural boundary. Americans, obviously, they have their cultural boundary. They have a circle out of which, if they do anything, they become an alien in the society. So the main idea is that they considered us they and them, and now when the Arab world opened up, because of money, because of oil, they used the oil to create an environment where people now feel safe. They already felt safe in the Arab world.
Of course.
You've been here your whole life.
I've lived here my entire life.
The safety and security that women face in this, that women have in this world, it's not to be found anywhere. Trust me.
No, that's true.
I remember the Qatar World Cup coverage. I always refer back to it because it's one of the monumental events where actually a Middle Eastern country opened its border to the majority of Europeans. Usually you see Europeans coming to Dubai, Saudi also, to all these countries, but that was the time that they came in an influx because World Cup, obviously. And there were so many nationalities that entered, and every woman felt safe there.
Yeah, and that safety,
the men also felt safe.
You're right. That safety, it's not to be underestimated. I remember at my time, Majid, when I was working as a sales associate at Mall of the Emirates, I would meet so many people. And, of all those Western people that I would meet, a lot of the Americans, when I would ask them, they would always tell me, we just moved here. You can't imagine the amount of people I met who'd be like, we just moved here. And I'm like, oh, okay, keep it coming. But the more people that I spoke to, and I'd always say, how are you finding Dubai? And, the first thing these parents would tell me is that I feel so happy going to work knowing that my child is safe. Yeah. And, some of these people, they came from New York, and it was so interesting to hear that they were coming from these big cities with these big hubs, and that what's making them feel so good and reassured and able to go about their daily lives is the fact that they don't have to worry about their children. Yeah. They really don't. Even me, I run at night every single day. There's always a bit of fear. You have to stay a bit paranoid. That's just me. But nothing ever happens because it's truly so safe. Imagine when I was running around my community, I even asked because it was at night, it was 8 p.m. I was like, you know what? It's a bit dark here. There's nobody. And then I remember when I crossed past the security, I looked at the computer and they have cameras stationed all over the community. Keep in mind, they did not tell us this. Yeah. They did not tell us that there was any surveillance. We did not know. But when I looked at the computer, I was like, oh my God, there is surveillance stationed beside every single house. So if something were to happen, like somebody would be here to catch it. And it's so reassuring. It's really so nice. How do you feel as a father?
As a father, I'm very happy. I can just leave my son's hand and he can roam about on the road. People stop. So all of this is like individual level, society level safety. But apart from that, if you go back to the discussion of business and economics, there's also safety in that. People who are investing here, I'll give you an example of real estate. I remember like a decade ago nearly in UAE, they realized that off-plan property is very complicated because a builder just has a land and he's like, I'm going to build a 50-story building, so invest. So a lot of people were scared, but now they have a whole escrow system where I, as an investor, will put my money in an escrow account until I get some kind of paperwork or ownership from the person itself. That money won't go to the developer. So the developer will use his own money or his investor's money and build the building. And as soon as I get ownership of the flat, then he'll get that money. So that kind of safety is just one small example. Everywhere you see, you will never lose a dirham to any. Yeah, there are people like there is a lot of things that happen. There's a lot of messages that you may get and you click on the link and something bad can happen. But the government also, for that, they run campaigns. They tell you not to click on suspicious links, don't reply to emails which have suspicious email accounts or domain names. So if even wherever they can control it, they're controlling it. But where they can't control it, they do awareness campaigns. So that's the good part about all these countries. It's not just UAE, to be honest. UAE obviously leads everyone in this race, to be honest. What I've seen after traveling to two of the Middle Eastern big giants, Saudi and UAE, UAE obviously leads in it, but Saudi Arabia also has a very good security. And I guess Majid, it's because of the penalties as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You know, Majid, what's so interesting is that somebody responded to Masad's ex-post and said that real question, how are women rights in there compared to Western countries? So basically they're raising this card that, you know, women are more free in Western countries. But that's not true at all because I am a woman and I live in the Middle East. I live in the UAE. And in fact, not only do I get my rights, I get treated better because I am a woman. Like, you know, when I even, I remember, Majid, I went to do this, basically when you turn 20 in the UAE, you have to go do this scan. It's like a they have to take your blood and they also medical. I think they also like take a scan of your back. Completely forgot what it was, but I remember
basically it's chest X-ray to test for the TB which you can transfer to other people. I completely forgot.
And I remember when I went,
like blood test.
I remember when I went. Basically, that day when we went, it was me, my sister, and my brother. And I told you before, my brother, he has autism, and because of the fact, not only do they make space for women, but they also make space for people with special cases. So because of the fact that my brother had autism, he can't wait. He cannot wait whatsoever. You cannot make that man stand in the line. It's just not going to work. And so they by the way, my mom did not even have to tell them that. The people working at the office there, they immediately recognized it. They immediately recognized it and they were like, hey, come, we're gonna make a space for you. And what happened was because this is what I find so beautiful, because the female section was just completely full, they're like, okay, you know what? You can do your testing in the male area. You know what they did? So me and my sister can do our testing in the male area. We can just finish quickly and go for our brother. They completely told all the men there to leave. Every single one of them, even if their tests were still pending, they were standing in a line. Not only did they tell them, like, you have to wait, but they made them leave the entire area. The space that is made for women in this country, it's truly so beautiful and it's so underestimated. Because, you know, that's why I'm sitting in this seat here today. That's why I'm here, because this country the Middle East does make a space for women. It really does.
To be honest, I love this about UAE. Just a small personal story as well. The wife I saw in Pakistan and the wife I have here, she's a completely different person. She's very relaxed because, again, security problems. She doesn't have to care about when she's on the road driving or anything, coming back late. She never cares about it. In Pakistan, she was feeling anxiety all the time. So yeah, all of this happens.
Sure.
But coming back to financial security, this is one of the main reasons that this region has become what it has become. everyone wants to invest here because there is security in that you won't lose your money, and there's also security in that your money will eventually reap rewards as well. Because this economy, UAE economy, Saudi economy, Egyptian economy is in a little doldrums, but that will recover soon because the whole region is growing together. So this is the main part.
Yeah, and just developing on what Majid is saying and investments, Rothschild and Co., one of the largest independent financial advisory groups and also one of the oldest.
Yeah.
They've been around since the 19th century. They are going to open a wealth management office in Dubai to target ultra-high net worth individuals, family offices, and entrepreneurs in the region. Now, this is very massive. Yeah. This is very, very, very massive. More and more people are coming to set up their offices in Dubai.
Yeah, and they're opening the office in Dubai International Financial Center, very famously known as DIFC.
Yeah.
Sometimes I tell this Dubai International Finance, people are like, what? DIFC. Oh, yeah, DIFC. So yeah, they're opening. It's already functional now. The office, and the story basically came out of His Highness Sheikh Maktoum bin Muhammad bin Rashid Al Maktoum, first deputy ruler of Dubai. He met with Alexander de Rothschild, executive chairman of Rothschild and Company. They had a discussion on the company's regional operations and their expansion plans starting from Dubai. So this meeting and then them opening office, it's a whole story in how every big company that you can think of has either moved here in Abu Dhabi Global Market, in DIFC, or somewhere in the UAE, or they're setting up regional headquarters in Saudi Arabia.
Like BlackRock that we discussed yesterday.
We did a story on BlackRock.
They want to set up in Abu Dhabi and they already have an office in Dubai.
So, these big people with trillions of dollars in asset management or billions of dollars, they're coming. And then we also did a story about Andalusian. It's also one of the companies which has nearly 500 million assets under management. They're also moving here. So not the big players only. The smaller players also know the opportunity. They want to convert their millions in assets into billions of assets.
Of
Everyone is moving here. Everyone is opening an office. Everyone is trying to get a piece of the wealth and the capital that is on display right here. And I think Egyptian billionaire Naguib Sawiris' story we can plug in as well.
Yeah.
He's also opening a digital media platform.
For Motify, and it's going to basically be a digital business newsroom, and they're basing it around the UAE. They're going to be launching, I believe, November 26th. November 26th.
So
and
after that, we'll see a lot of it.
And keep in mind, Naguib, he comes from one of the wealthiest families in Egypt. His brother, he's the wealthiest man in Egypt. And to just see that these billionaires are specifically all moving to the UAE, this continues to be such a prophetic sign. It really does. And we see that Amjad Masad, he is right. The UAE, the Middle East, it is going to make that comeback. It is for sure.
Sorry, just clicked in my mind. The Nigeria's richest man is also opening his family office in Abu Dhabi. I just remembered we did it like 1 month back. So that family office is... So the richest people of the richest countries everywhere, they're just moving here because they see.
And it's so diverse too. That's what I love about it. Is that, all of these people, like BlackRock from America, the Nigerian man, all of this, it's basically saying that not only is the UAE's capital pool going to go up, but the network that they're going to have, the relationship that they're going to have with different countries, it's only going to empower it more.
Yeah.
It's almost like, it's crazy, but Majid, it's almost as if the UAE is becoming the new Switzerland. That just keeps up really good relations with every single country. And just for another story today, the Andalusian private capital has, eyed the UAE, and they are also going to establish their first global office by early 2025, backed by the billionaire David Tepper.
Yeah, and they haven't decided where. That's the case right now. They're deciding Dubai or Abu Dhabi. But wherever they open, it's coming here. All the money that we see in the world, all the asset managers, all the wealth managers, everyone who is related to money somehow, even the startups. Some of the startups I remember in Hub 71, which is like a center for startups in Abu Dhabi. You look at the startups list, and I guess nearly 50 to 40%, 40 to 50% are from outside. So homegrown startups, obviously, they have the best place to go to. But outside startups, if they see that, oh, their idea can really take off in this region, they're also coming here. So everyone, literally everyone right now is looking at this region.
Yeah, quite literally everyone. And everyone also meaning Egypt. Now, Egypt's company Qara has raised $2.6 million for a Saudi expansion. Now, it's basically a supply chain tech startup, and it's raised this very large amount of more than $2 million to really enhance its footprint in Saudi Arabia, and it's being supported by the NTDP Relocate initiative. Now, when I take a look at this and this beautiful story over here, what we're seeing is that all of these countries, they're working together. More than anything, Majid, that makes me happy, because the Middle East, years ago, the reason why it was tore up is because these countries were not working with each other. So us seeing these tech startups from Egypt moving to Saudi Arabia, or coming to the UAE, it's showing us that there's this very keen sense of collaboration here. One we have never seen before.
I would just say it's becoming the new Europe. To be honest, it's like everyone is saying that this is the new Europe. And it's said because Europe as Europe, a combination of like multiple countries, and Middle East is like becoming one of the it's like mimicking the golden age of Europe. Now I don't know what's happening there. Everything is in disarray. The European Union is out of question. There's so much happening. All the European countries are even like fighting among themselves over economics and everything. But the good thing is that Middle East right now, they don't have that kind of a race going on. It's even though if there is a race, which is there, to be honest, to be very fair and square, there is a race between UAE and Saudi Arabia. But it's like a very constructive race. If you're doing 10, I'll do 11. Okay, then I'll reach 15. Oh no, I'll do 20.
And imagine just on that like mention of the Middle East doing better than Europe. It's so interesting. But the reason why the Middle East and Europe right now are in the specific roles that they're in, it all has to do with diversity. It does, because like, for example, if you take a look at the case of the UK and we take a look at Brexit, a lot of people in the UK, they voted for Brexit and to leave the European Union, so immigrants actually leave the country. That's why they voted for it. They wanted to push the immigrants out. But what we're seeing happening right now in the UK is that because of the fact that Brexit occurred, they actually need more immigrants. It's the immigrants who are running their economy. And because of the fact that they split from the European Union, that affected a lot of the deals that they're having. But because of the fact that the Middle East in itself is doing the complete opposite, it's embracing diversity, that's why it's making better decisions. And it just really goes to this broader implication that I really believe in, is that when countries embrace diversity, their businesses do better. Their markets, they do better.
You can't just half open the door. If you want to become something big in the world, you have to open the door, like completely open it, and let everyone in who has a good idea, who has a good business already established in their country and they want to expand here. You have to completely open the door. What's the point that you made is completely true, that they're closing their doors, and with that they're losing on opportunities.
Exactly.
This region has its door open for everyone who wants to do business, who wants to come here and invest and grow. That's the main idea.
If you want to know about more open doors, make sure to tune in for tomorrow's show. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. You can find our newsletter on Beehive. You can find us on X, LinkedIn, and Instagram. This is Smashi Business Show, a Smashi Business production, a part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. Have a lovely day.